Here is some information about carbs that you may not know. Hi everybody, it's Tommy, the Wellness Coach, and I have been helping people crush their wellness goals for over 20 years. And here are some little tidbits about carbs or carbohydrates that you may not know. Now, carbs are very important into our daily diet, but a lot of times they get a bad rap. Our body runs most effectively on the energy that we get from the carbohydrates that we eat. Our body uses other macronutrients for energy. It's just that carbohydrates are the easiest form and the most efficient for our body. In fact, did you know that carbs are the only energy source for our brains and our red blood cells? So it's very important to get carbohydrates. Now the key is to get enough carbohydrates to help our body run efficiently, but not to get too many that we tend to store extra carbohydrates as fat. When we eat carbohydrates, whatever carbs are not used in our body right away, they get stored into our muscles and our liver for future use. Now there are some more fancier terms for the specific names for those types of carbohydrates and that system of storage, but we won't go into that here. Once our muscles and our liver are already stored with that additional carbohydrate and it's full, that's when additional carbohydrates that we haven't burned off start getting stored into fat. So getting enough movement in during the day is really the key to make sure that we are not storing too much carbohydrates that then gets turned into fat. Also, another important fact about carbohydrates is a lot of the foods that naturally contain carbohydrates have a lot of nutrients in them. So preferably, whenever you can, try to get your carbohydrates from plant products and less carbohydrates from packaged or processed products. In other words, naturally occurring carbohydrates such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains carry a lot of nutrients that our body needs. But when we start eating majority of our food from processed foods that have additional added sugar to it, then we start getting into a lot of nutrients or empty calories that don't serve our body. So an easy way to make sure that you get in plenty of nutritional carbohydrates into your day is take a look at each of your meals. Half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. That's where you're going to get some of the very nutrition-dense carbohydrates. And then the other quarter of that plate is going to have a more complex carbohydrate. So this is where you have whole grain bread, whole grain crackers, whole grain pasta, brown rice, and make sure that it just sticks within that quarter of the plate. That's how you can assure that you're not getting too many carbohydrates, but you're still getting the nutritional benefit. Also, another great nutrient that comes from foods that tend to have carbohydrates is fiber. The way that fiber is made as its own carbohydrate, we tend not to have the right enzymes to really break it apart and use it for other nutrients in our body. So what it can do is when it's in the intestine, it can help take up that extra cholesterol and fat and take it out of our body. So that's one of the ways that it can be helpful on either preventing or reducing high cholesterol numbers. So in conclusion, it's really important to be able to get the carbohydrates in on a daily basis. Remember, it's the only fuel for your brain and your red blood cells. The key is to get those carbohydrates from naturally occurring sources such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and try to eat a little bit less of the processed or foods that have added sugar into the ingredients. And that's a safe way without getting a lot of the extra ingredients and garbage that doesn't do our body any good. If you have any questions, please list them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more material, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Bye.